Hello everyone, this is Phreak from WCR, and this is an audio commentary. And this is going to be going over Orkmir. Get us up to 15 seconds, the game versus Phobo file. 50 seconds as I said, and I'm going to be talking about what I do when, we start getting there. So, this account is essentially TC first every time. I went Farseer first twice overall, and it's not as cool, TC is just like a more awesome hero. And so I've been on my own base build, my own build order and everything, and it works out pretty well. So you're gonna see how this goes and how I change it just a little bit, depending on what race I play against. I'm still trying to decide if I need a third grunt before I need tech and what races I need to do that against. So I don't know. I'll find that out eventually, but you have to decide between a third grunt and tech with this build. It's not a huge deal, but it is there. Anyway. 50-second mark, 1 XP, I'm going to go ahead and unpause this already. So, if you're not there, well, I'm going to rant for about 10 seconds, then we're going to unpause. So, if you're not done once I stop ranting, well, then pause the commentary and then get there. So, yeah, okay, screw it. That's 10 seconds of me talking about really nothing at all, wasting your bandwidth and hard drive space. So, let's go ahead and unpause since I'm screwing you over right now. Let's unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. And now, ultimately, you can see my build order is standard altar burrow. The building placement's a little weird. Ultimately, I know I'm going to be harassed. I don't know I'm going to be harassed, but often you are harassed. And TC is not good at stopping that because, you have, Endurance Aura, and no one cares that you have Endurance Aura. One of the things about it is that it's really so underrated. People, you fight against TC, you're like, okay, whatever, he's got Shockwave. And they don't really think about Endurance. Everyone knows, they hate Ghoulguard with Unholy on them, because, you can never catch a DK with Unholy Aura on them. Everyone knows the Potom is there for True Shot. People laugh at the Keeper for getting Thorns. Everyone knows, Vampiric Aura is pretty sweet. But really, no one notices Endurance. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but, I never really plug that spell, or that ability into the equation when I'm playing against the Tauren Chieftain. I'm like, whatever. Okay, he's a Shockwave machine, and that's all I think about. Endurance Aura does add up pretty quickly. It obviously, it's not going to be instant win, but it's actually pretty useful. So you can see right there, I return wood so I can get my next burrow as fast as possible. You're also going to see, I got up 16 food in the grunt. Now this is a altar burrow, barracks, 5 on gold, and then at 40 wood, make a burrow, get up 16 food, make a grunt, etc. And then also with this build, I get a shop after I get my first grunt, and now right here I pretty much curse myself for not having the burrow lined up with the barracks. As you can see, there's that little overlap right there between the shop and the Voodoo Lounge. The Voodoo Lounge is next to the barracks, but that burrow should have been 1 square over to the left, which would have allowed me to put the Voodoo Lounge back a square or 2 and protect the burrow a little bit. And usually that's what I want to do, is sort of wall off my burrows with buildings. Now this allows me to have some sort of forward pressure kind of thing, so if I'm getting harassed I don't have to run back all the way into my base. It gives them less territory to work with. It also gives me more room to put buildings in the back if I need it. Ultimately, you're just going to see that my mirror strat essentially owns. Now, with this, I pick up the item as fast as possible. Now, it's not a port at all if it's Cloak of Shadows or an Intel Cloak, but so far, I'm saying 80% of the time, I get Agility or Strength. Both of those will help you creep. Plus Agility means you have armor and attack speed. You can see I'm actually attacking it fast now. Tauren Chieftain does not attack it fast without those Agility clippers. I'm serious, he will not. Also, luckily Blizzard, or thankfully really, Blizzard changed the bug where if you add, plus the primary stat, it applies both to the numbers that are in white and to the green number that shows the plus line. Now, the damage wasn't changed, but, So you can see right there, I've got my tech started after 2 grunts, because I decided that, I need a fast third hero. And really, I don't have a plan yet what third hero I'm going to get. I think I'd done 1 game before where I went Alchemist, or this might have actually been the first, I think this was the first game I went Alchemist. And you can see I got plus intel, which isn't great, but now check out what I do. I pop the 2 persistent items down to the bottom so they don't, take up room, and since I have my shop, I'm going to instantly bring them over once I pick up the item and pick up healing salves. These 2 grunts are going to then come over to this orange camp in the top so that I can pick up another item, and just have this sort of steady creeping pattern. Now I see, hey, it's Farseer, and he's acting really stupidly, so you know what? Okay, I know it's fake. But I don't want him annoying me and running around. I'm going to get rid of this so that I can salve myself, is essentially what's going on. Because I know he's going to be screwing me over, so I'm going to salve up. and then go creep. Because I figure, well, I selected the hero and I saw that he had a strength item on him and that he had like a wand of illusion, but like, or no, he didn't have a wand of illusion, but like I knew it was an illusion because of its behavior and how quickly it was getting damaged. Now you can see the best way to run grunts away from a battle, or anything away from a battle, is straight away, then use shift to get it into your base. You can see I ran that one around the tree, and then I pulled it back because, I mean, I'm not fighting at good numbers, and he's got over 300 HP. Like, you can tank it for a little while. Once they get to about 100 like this, they're going to be chained and killed. I do realize I'm fighting as a level 2 Farseer, so I'm like, Chain Lightning is the suck, so screw you, and luckily my TC got to heal up completely before I started changing targets, so that was nice. However, I'm still stuck with these 3 grunts back here, and he runs away because his units were injured and his Farseer was injured, so he needed to heal up. So I'm like, fine, that works for me. So pick up another salve. I'm gonna heal up that other grunt. And now one of the cool things about salves that I guess changed around 115, 116 is that they automatically is that your hero will automatically go back to doing whatever it was doing beforehand. It means like if you salve something, he won't just like stop because he salved. He'll actually take a brief second to salve something, and then he'll instantly start going forward again. Now right here, I'm gonna pick up my hero. Like, alright, I'm very close to 425 gold, so there we go. I pick up the Alchemist. And get Acid Bomb. I'm going to get Acid Bomb and Healing Wave. Now, the reason for that is, ultimately, I'm going to be getting a different hero, or different sort of unit type pretty soon. And they don't really react well to salves. So whatever, I instantly see he's got a bunch of things being healed by freaking the healing whatever, so I'm instantly going to go in there and just focus and shockwave whatever I can to get rid of that healing effect, because that's annoying. So I get rid of a grunt, and I'm like, okay, darn it, I can't get the Alchemist out. Okay, fine. I'm gonna get rid of this other grunt. Oh, there's a wolf, sweet. Okay, get out, go. And then I managed to lock myself with my TC, and I lose my hero anyway. However, I do manage to Acid Bomb him a little bit. As you can see, he's got a bunch of weak units, and I try to speed scroll in, and I think I misclick a grunt or whatever, and so I'm not gonna kill this one. Unfortunate, I know. But whatever, I brought his units down. Essentially, I killed 2 grunts for an Alchemist. Now, of course, the Alchemist originally cost, 425 gold. However, to revive him costs 170, so whatever. Now, I take a minute to macro up my base, and I realize my TC's losing a lot of HP, so I'm going to get the heck out of here. So I'm going to camp back here a little bit. I'm going to salve up, I'm going to hold position, and then I see he's got this Shadow Hunter, so I'm like, he might have Hex. Okay, fine, I'm leaving. I'm not sure why I didn't try to get rid of my salves. Probably just, I don't know, lag or not really seeing it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just get out of there. Actually, maybe grunts have a longer sight than the Shadow Hunter. I'm not sure. Either way, I get my Alchemist, I, pop a Clarity, get another Clarity and a Speed Scroll. Speed Scrolls are very important, so that you can get in and out of battles, especially when they have Hex. Anytime the Hex unit, instantly Speed Scroll it, because they're going to focus it, so, just get them out of the way. You can see, I'm adding a second Rex and a Bestiary. You're going to see my strat very soon. Also need another Burrow. I have Foresight, and, I could build an HH right there, but Burrows take long enough to build, and HH build quickly enough that, that you can, put up the Burrow and, you can then continue to make your units and you're okay with the food cap. Alright, so anyway, I use Acid Bomb Creeping pretty much just because, yes, I will run out of, I was still retaining mana and I wasn't, capped at mana, so I didn't really have to. But, it's just useful in the sense that, it really gets rid of the units a lot faster. When you're creeping with a bunch of physical damage, lowering their armor by 3 does matter, and obviously lowering all their hit points a bit helps a lot too. And, I'm just doing pretty well. I gauged how much I needed for the Tome of the XP and then went on from there. So here we go. I am going to be going into a fight, and let's go ahead and pause this because I want to really talk about what I'm going to do. So pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm at 754. Alright, so you can see right here, I'm going to turn on Ally Color so I can see this better. I'm blue, he's red of course. I'm Screw Food for life if you didn't know. So you can see I've got, a grunt getting hit, and he moves it very slow because he's hexed, which sucks. But ultimately you can see I already Acid Bombed and cast Shockwave. You can see he has 1, 2, 3 units of effective Acid Bomb, which is, I guess, decent. Like, I would have liked more, but also here's something to think about. Acid Bomb takes 15 seconds, like that's how long it's activated. Its damage is 5, 10, or 15 per second. Which means level 1, 75 damage. Level 2, 150 damage. Level 3, 225. It's more than Shockwave. It hits air, and... okay, fine, it has a longer cooldown, and it may not hit as many targets because it's a little, splash AoE instead of a line AoE, but, I mean, that's a lot of damage you can deal. And considering I have level 2 Shockwave for 135, I'm doing 210 through AoE damage. Now that's not a lot, but that's more than Chainlit, and that's everything I hit. So that's times 3-4 units, you've got over 800 damage. Now, obviously he could have Chain Heal. You can see he has Hex, which limits my damage. And Chain Lightning isn't as much AoE. The wolves aren't a lot of damage or a lot of tanking, but that adds up as well. And I guess they roughly average out. But considering I have endurance and he has lower armor, I think that cancels out. It really is more than what his Hex is doing in terms of damage. And if I can speed scroll my Hex units out, then I'm really in good shape. So you can see I'm going to speed scroll his Hex unit really soon. And he's going to run across the creeps to try to not die and everything. And you're just going to see how this overall works out. And I think it's pretty nice. So you can see I'm making some HH right now. And I've got a Kodo. And you're just going to see how this works. So, let's unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So here we go. You see he's getting focused. I'm going to speed scroll. And I just instantly shift click him around. And unfortunately, he's actually going to run into creeps. And that really kind of sucks. Because, hey look, a creep. Owned. But, he managed to run into a tree and then get jacked by a freaking creep. So, whatever. I still managed to chain heal, or healing wave whatever my army just a little bit. And, I won that fight, and that's pretty cool. I mean, ultimately, that's, the goal of the game is to win enough fights that you win the game, and that's kind of superfluous, but there you go. I had to actually pause the commentary and try to get my dog, who then disappeared, so I'm at 832, 33, 34, 835. So, sorry if that's a little desynced. I tried to, speed up the replay a little bit and whatever, but anyway, hopefully this will be pretty good. Now, ultimately, my strat is a lot of ranged, that deals a lot of damage really quickly, and especially with Kodo and endurance, and then just a little bit of tanking in terms of having 2 strength heroes there. I mean, I also considered for the strategy going TC and Pit Lord, and I was really kind of debating between going Howl of Terror and going Rain of Fire. Now, Shockwave and Rain of Fire works well against ranged because they have less hit points and they usually cluster a lot more. Melee fitting against ranged, Rain of Fire is really hard to use. Now, Howl of Terror is pretty cool. I mean, their grunts are doing, a third less or a half less, half their damage, and that definitely matters, but, I was like, you know what? And pretty much right at the time of going to the tavern, I was thinking right there, what hero am I going to get? Maybe I'll get Tinker with Cluster Rockets and use Stomp instead of Wave, or, I was like, you know what? No one's used Alchemist in forever. I'm going to try it, because, I mean, I'm already being, you could say original, I don't know, being retarded, something like that. But going TC first, I'm going to go freaking Alchemist and see what happens. Now, here we go, I get lucky and I get a creep jack. Now, I try to shockwave that creep, and it looked a lot closer on my screen because of delay. And I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get rid of this freaking raid. But, of course, it gets completely blocked and I don't kill it. But either way, I force a TP. Now, we got some money off of the creeps and, of course, EXP as well. But, whatever. Now, at this point, the crux of my strategy is expanding, because I'm at 50 food, and I don't want to get past that without getting some high hero levels or an expansion, or a lot more upgrades. So you can see, I've got one attack upgrade already, and I believe I'm getting, I am getting my second, and I'm just gonna pump up my heroes right now, and ultimately I've got my ranged and my heroes focusing one, the big turtle. I've got my melee focusing the little ones because they've got damage type. So pick up the agility, and I get an info pot, and I'm like, okay, that's sweet. And then you can see I've already got one of the Watcher Wards, so I'm gonna try to get the other one. And now you can see I've got this peon also coming in. And I'm going to try to put my expo there. And I'm like, wait, no, I just grabbed one out. Sweet, I can send him over to the other expo and expand there. So, I'd send a peon out, try to expand, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing the wrong one. So I move over, so it's a little bit more secluded. Really, hardly anyone's going to scout there. So that's cool. Now I see my TC is currently solving, and I was about to creep that Goblin Merchant, but, thank you, Watcher Ward, I see his army. So I'm like, sweet, you need to die. So, that's what's going to happen. However, he's running across the map, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm going to try to meet him around the tavern and just deal some good damage. I don't know where he's going. I guess he's trying to creep the other, gold mine spot. So I'm just going to jack him as fast as I can. And he sees me because it just now turned nightfall, but, it was daylight enough that he could see me. And so he's very smart in speed scrolling in, ensnaring whatever he can so that I can't sort of try to block him off. Then he's going to try to get a little bit in my back lines. As you can see, he's got a couple of grunts that are getting back there. However, there's also some of mine that are really red that he's going to come after. As you can see, he's got the first kill already. However, I ate something, and he's also hexed one of my Kodos. Freaking slut. So whatever, I managed to eat another one, And you can see he's just got these 2 units just working on my Kodos, and that's really smart of him to do, because I'm gonna essentially lose that Kodo, because I can't really focus on just 2 units hitting one of mine. I mean, that's really hard to do. But whatever, I learn level 2 endurance really quickly. I'm still attacking it slow on my HH though, but he re-ensnares it, and he's again focusing my units. I'm like, what the heck, go away. I do have 1 level of armor, but I mean, you know, I'm in pretty bad shape right now. However, you know, I speed scroll my heroes over. I try to catch more with the speed scroll. That was a bit of a mistake, but you know, whatever. You can see Shockwave doing plenty of damage. He's got all these red units. I'm like, Acid Bomb, okay, that'll take care of that grunt. I'm gonna get rid of this orange one, and I'm also gonna TP because I don't want to lose my TC. I'm scared of being hexed. You can see I actually got hexed right there, and I'm like, TP, I don't want to die, because in case he had like level 2 chain. Now I don't check mana enough. I really should, because I do get screwed over by that. But I'm like, whatever. I'm getting out of this. So I managed to TP out, and I saved these 2 HH that were close by. Whatever. And my expo's going up, and it's most of the way there. Now you see I still got that cool anvil pot on my alchemist, which is nice. And he comes in, of course, checks my expo, and I'm like, gosh darn it, go away. I hate you for life. So whatever. You know, I salve up, and I have to cancel. Now remember that the thing with this stuff, with canceling buildings, is that the more damage it takes, the less money you get from canceling. So I mean, if I'd canceled that at 2 HP, I would have gotten no money back. Like, he might as well have killed it, because you seriously gain just about nothing. Now this Gaussian Peon micro / luck, as Wolf can't get me, I own. So that was pretty lucky and cool. So I'm like, sweet, I saved a peon. So I eventually look at that again, because I've got this whole idle peon thing going on. And I'm like, I'm gonna go build my expansion again. So I do that. You can see my money took a hit, and I'm building my expo. I'm continuing to make HH, and ultimately, as my heroes level up more and more, I'll be in better and better shape. Because, I mean, I don't really care that he's got a Farseer. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but I can always pick up Healing Scroll. But with level 3 Acid Bomb and level 3 Shockwave going on, he can't do jack. Okay, I take it back. I didn't build the expo yet. My bad. But I'm going to creep this camp out, because I realize, hey, it's still there. Sweet. So I've got my peons up to average movement speed, because I'm lead. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm 4 and 3. I know I can get 4 from this creep camp, because it gives, you know, a pretty good amount of EXP. So let's go. You see, Acid Bomb. Look how much damage those guys take, because they have -3 armor. That's insane. I mean, they're also taking 10 a second from that. Actually, I'm not going to level up from this. I'm retarded. So actually, I just come very close, and I'm like, crap, I'm a noob. But whatever. I pick up, I believe it was a Tome of +1 to everything. I don't know, really. It doesn't ultimately matter. I've got a Watcher Ward now, and you can see, Healing Spray is like the worst spell ever, but I've got mana to spare. I don't care, you know? My Acid Bomb costs like 75. I'm going to have enough mana to cast 3 by the time our next battle starts. Overall, it's fine. So, besides that point, I'm going to get level 4 from this next camp anyway. So it's all good. So here we go. I'm going to group up, get my TC in front, because he's got plenty of HP and whatnot. He'll be fine. So I'm going to, you know, start up tanking with him. I'm just going to focus the Troll Warrior very quickly. You can see he takes a lot of damage really fast. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to pull my TC back because he's taking a lot of damage. But first, I'm actually going to try to get a level 5 TC. So I'm going to focus this Direwolf, get rid of him pretty quickly. I do gain EXP on my TC from that. And I'm like, okay, Alchemist, crap, run back, Alchemist, you retard noob. But I managed to kill a thing while I'm there. But it works out and I get level 5 anyway. So that's cool. Now, I don't really see his Farseer right now because it's really blending in with that shop. Especially if you turn the sort of ally colors. I guess he's right either way, whatever. But anyway, I healing spray myself up. I've got 4 and 5, that's cool. You know, level 3 Shockwave bones. Now I see his army though, and I'm like, did he just creep the top corner? And you know, I click his Shadow Hunter. I don't see anything special, although I'm not really sure where that Pendant of Energy came from because I know I crept all of the Goblin Merchants, so I'm not sure if the pendant actually came from the top camp. I'm pretty sure, you know, they don't drop items that good, but you know, better safe than sorry. I don't want to give him anything for free, so whatever. I've got my +3 armor, Gosu Alchemist, and Pendant of Energy Chieftain. Whatever. Here we go. Here's a fight. So he speed scrolls in again. Very smart move. And ultimately, I'm just gonna Shockwave and Acid Bomb everything I can, and it's doing pretty well. However, he does use lots of ensnare, but I managed to eat one just before he ensnares, so that's cool. So I pop a healing scroll, or a healing potion, sorry, because ultimately I have pretty nice positioning in that I am in a choke, and all I can do is hit my strength heroes. They each have about 1,000 HP. I think that's fine. But I TP because, you know, I'm going to start taking a lot of damage, or whatever. I just get out of there, because I just want to make sure. I mean, I've got an expo going up, It's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, I'm gonna get back to 350 gold pretty quickly. It'll take 35 seconds. So whatever. And besides, I just want a big fight. He's already killed one of my Kodos. I've got another unit in my other Kodo. I'm gonna make sure that I'm okay. And I'm just like, whatever. I finished eating a unit. That's cool. I'm salving up. I've got some weak units, so I'm gonna be fine. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm in good shape overall. Gonna pop a clarity, I think. Maybe. No, I give him a potion. Sorry. And then I'm gonna be moving on now. So I'm like, okay, I'm in good shape. I'm gonna make some peons. No, sorry, I'm gonna actually bring some peons over to go mine gold. Now at this point, because right now I don't want him to know I have an expo, so I don't want to send the peons through the middle. At this point, I thought he had like a sentry ward in the middle because he had gone for my expo earlier. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I've got my army running through the middle. There's no way he can chase my expo, so I'm just gonna send him right through the middle. So I don't care if he sees it. I know he doesn't have the watcher ward. I was gonna originally send the peons around the outside just to try to keep it hidden. But I was like, you know what? He might be able to see it. I'm scared. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I have an army there. I don't care anymore. So you can see I acid bomb running as far as here, which managed to catch a grunt or something. So that's going to be 150 damage right there. Level 3 shockwave went off, did a lot of damage as well. And I'm like, okay, his army's pretty small. I'm in pretty good shape, but I'm just going to hold off for a short time, make sure I'm in good shape. I'm researching Gosu Kodo drums, which is like ownage. I shockwave again. You can see all his army's like orange, some green, but not many. And I'm, kind of getting hit a lot. Like my TC's taking a lot of damage, and now he's got an HH that's ensnared in front. So I healing throw. So, try to keep my units alive as best I can. Chain lightning goes off, doesn't do a lot, because he's only level 3. And I try to pull my units around so that I can get this Kodo in front, which I do manage to do. I finally pull the Kodo in there, moving some HH around. And I'm like, your units are dying, haha. So I'm like, oof, I'm getting hurt really badly, I got a TP. Now he should have hexed me first and focused, he should have waited till he could hex, because I really would have pretty much lost my TC that way. But I'm like, sweet, I got level 6 off of Wolf, and he leaves, because, hey, ownage. So it worked pretty well, I'm mostly just attack moving. I'm trying a little bit to pull units back. I'm not really focused on it. I'm just casting hero spells to make sure my Kodos do their job, which is eating units. I mean, they're already doing their job no matter how much I micro with the war drums. It's up to me to make sure they, what is it? Crap. ASTF. It's up to me to make sure that they are devouring units. And, that can be hard to do when they're ensnaring and everything, but, whatever. So now load up the second game, which is me versus Interlock. That's on Lost Temple, and this is what happens when you can't build the Alchemist. This was originally an earlier game, like I played it before. It was actually, the day before. But, hey, you know what? It works sort of in sequence. It's what happens when you don't have the Alchemist. So, here we go. Let's go and just go ahead and unpause at 50 seconds, 1x speed. Unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So you can see I'm doing the same little build loader thing with the altar, burrow, and then the barracks kind of blocking it off in front. And I'm just going to kind of speed through the build loader. So let's go at 2x speed in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm at 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay. You see I got the barracks going up, and I'm ultimately just going to own some noobs. Now, I, again, put the burrow in front a little bit too much, so I have to put the racks like that. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but, it's unfortunate. So, my altar is getting completed, and he's like saying, hey, what's free food for life mean? And it's Swedish for desktop for life. Say, skrivbord for livet. Okay, that was bad, shut up. Skrivbord for livet. I don't understand. You shouldn't go die in a fire. All the above. It's all good. So, I'm going to start up with grunts, and I'm going to get quite a few. Maybe, 4 or 5, and then I'm going to move on pretty quickly to my other units again. And so I build the shop, and I pretty much save face by building the shop in front of this burrow, so it'd be hard for him to focus it now. And so I'm in pretty good shape. Now, I can't really repair that burrow very well, but whatever, I don't care. I should be able to see him coming. So check it out. Now, I turned off Fog of War, and now I got to the creep camp faster. Let's see who finishes first. I got the creep camp, right? I killed level 3. He kills level 3 right now, Moving on, killing level 1 creep, and despite the fact that I got there, 10 seconds faster, we finished at the same time. So obviously the TC is not a very good creeper. I mean, I knew that coming in, but, endurance is fun, so screw you. So I'm going to pull the creeps back. Now what you're supposed to do is actually hit one of the creeps so that the Troll Shadow Priest actually starts healing, so that he'll heal once, then he'll stay back. Now whatever, I get my TC hard enough that he can salve himself, which is pretty much my criteria. Get him so he can salve himself so you save more time, and then move on. So whatever, I'm going to pick up some items now. and then I'm going to heal up that grunt once I finish that creep off. The creep dies, and I salve the grunt. So whatever, I get level 2. Now let's go back to 1x speed in 3, 2, 1, go. So he has a scout wolf and he sees, oh dude, this guy's an expo, so, and he goes right over to start attacking it. Now if he had hit those creeps a second earlier, it would have been sweet, but as you can see, it didn't happen. Whatever, I'm going to focus as far as here because I know he has wolves, and though I can run my grunts back faster than he can run his, you know, mine are injured and I really don't want to get screwed. So okay, whatever. I try to get out of the way, then I realize I'm not going to. Now I should kind of like shockwave right here, but I'm retarded. But whatever, I focus one of the grunts down pretty far. You know, I get him down to 240, whatever. And I'm going to have to sell myself instantly, pick up another speed scroll, just in case, and go to save my expansion. So you can see right now, he's just bringing 2 grunts along and pulling back 1 to the fountain. He's got a Thorbjorn coming in, and here we go again. I do have Fog of War off, I'm not really sure why, but you can keep it off, it doesn't matter. He turned lightnings me, but luckily for me, I was away from the rest of my army, so I got to save some HP there. And I'm killing his Spirit Wolves because of Lightning Shield, which is really the purpose of Lightning Shield is killing Spirit Wolves. But my grunt gets low, and I know he has Chain Lightning already, so I'm going to get the heck back. Now I do gain some EXP from the Wolves, which is nice. Also hurting my TC with the Lightning Shield, but you know, what can you do? So there we go. I salve up that grunt. I leave him back though, because I know he's going to like get owned otherwise. And I get that grunt saved by the slope. Thanks, slope. And I'm just going to make sure that that grunt stays back there. I'm going to salve him up before I go anywhere, and I'm just going to keep my grunts focusing as Farseer. Because really that's all I can do right now. I mean, he's got more / better units than I do. Essentially just more. So I'm like, oh, this is like, this suck. Okay, fine, screw you. But I continue focusing Farseer, and then I pull this one away. Now, unfortunately, he's going to get killed by a wolf later on. He's down to 10 HP, and then the wolf comes in, which sucks. But I finally like, look, he has a bunch of units. I need to start casting spells. Go shockwave. So you can see he kills a wolf, or he kills a grunt. F you, whatever. It's not much I can do about it right now. But I salve up, and I'm just like, I need to freaking get some units. I have like 500 gold, and I haven't been really buying anything. Holy crap. So I'm going to be quickly producing some more units and whatnot. Anyway, he's pulled his Farseer back. He actually, I don't know why he TP'd, but pretty much he was trying to pick up salves. I guess that's the reason. You know, he was weak, and he needed to heal his army up quickly. I'm just using Lightning Shield as best I can to try to weaken his army. I made him run away, which is really all I wanted to do right now. So I'm a stronghold, so I'm going to get this grunt, increased HP, whatever, upgrade. Add a second Rax, add a War Mill, and add a Bestiary, because I have a bunch of money and nothing to spend it on. So I spend it on buildings. So you can see I start Berserker Strength, and that'll be done once that'll be started once my first grunt's done. So whatever. So I've got 4 grunts, and I was gonna move out to go creep stuff, but then I'm like, oh crap, my expo's getting attacked again. Fine, I'll go defend, whatever, you know. And so I'm gonna have to go defend it. I've got a bunch of peons coming out, and really I'm just losing all my money. So fine, whatever. I'm gonna shockwave as soon as the battle starts, and just do as best I can. You know, I've got mostly full HP grunts. His are a lot more injured than mine. I do manage to catch 4 grunts with that, which does afford me quite a bit of damage. So cool, I've gotten rid of one of them. Now he's got tier 2 grunts, I have tier 1. I don't really realize that yet, but you know that matters, of course. So I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I speed scroll out, as you can see, turn around because he got something hexed. I speed scrolled, and also ran out because I had a bunch of weakened units. And now I've got this one grunt surrounded, which sucks. At least I got the first one. That's always nice. Run this one back to my base. It gets chain lightning and everything, but I also managed to block it, but it lives, so that's cool. However, you know, he's got this one grunt stuck, and I'm like, oh wait, that's my critter. I can move out of the way. Too late. I'm a noob. Fine. But, you know, I'm still working the best I can. He's got a lot more units than me, so I really shouldn't be fighting so much. But there's not a lot I can do about it. So he's going to try to surround this grunt. I'm like, go away. I managed to try to run it into my base, and hey, it actually gets there. Sweet. But again, you know, I've lost like all the peons on my expo. It's not been profitable at all. I mean, the only thing that's really saving me is that I'm not spending 400 gold on a new hero. It's the only reason I can make so many units. But you can see I'm pumping out grunts in H8. I do have tier 2 grunts now. I'm going to have to come right back in. I realize most of my grunts are hurt, but I have to go anyway. I mean, I'm hoping he doesn't have enough mana to chain me, because that would suck. I'm just going to shockwave him again. Going to try to get a good line. That really didn't do so well, but, you know, I did some damage, so I guess I'll live. And you can see salves run out. Pretty much they ran out via time instead of, like, getting hit, which was always good. So he hexes a grunt, and he's going to kill yet another one. And I'm like, God, I'm losing. This sucks. But I have my first Kodo out. He's got a grunt that's attacking some creeps, which is nice. So he pulls it away. That's one of the cool things about being cross-mapped, that units do get jacked that way. And he's just focusing my Great Hall, and I'm like, dude, seriously, go away. I don't like you. So I've got my HH though, and I'm going to do as much damage as I can. I do have my 2-2 grunts as I said, and I've got head enemies being cool. So I shockwave again, trying to do as much damage, mostly canceling salves on his heroes and the few units he's got. And he's focusing grunts, but I'm like, sweet, level 3, I killed a wolf, that's ownage. So I'm going to go in there and do as much damage. So he hexes something, I kill a grunt. He's throwing my TC a bit, which is really bad, but, you know, not a lot I can do about it, so I just have to pull back with my TC. I'm just waiting for enough mana that I can kill some more stuff. So I'm going to pull back my HH, try to not get them owned. I'm going to try to devour something with my Kodo, but it's going to get hexed right after, so it's not going to mean a lot. So that Kodo is going to get owned. I do have 2 more grunts doing some damage, but I mean, they're not going to kill anything really quickly. So I'm just, you know, doing whatever damage I can. You can see I solve in clarity, I solve one of my HH, I got more coming out, and it's go time. So okay, I'm going to pull back these 2 grunts. That one's going to get killed because I'm retarded, because I managed to attack and move back into his army. This one's also going to get killed because I'm, again, retarded. So okay, here we go. You know, again with the fight, you know, it's 3 versus 2-2. Luckily he doesn't have a 3 fires here, otherwise they'd pretty much kill me. You know, otherwise that would there we go. And great, Hex again, Psy, but he has a bunch of weak units that I'm like, sweet. Anyway, Kodo go, please. Yep, ate something with the Kodo. I'm gonna do all the damage I can to his grunts. I'm like, oh dude, he has so many weak grunts too, which is like, this suck. So I need to turn around and like kill them, because I'm not using, well, I'm focusing on running away, which is most of it. So, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna, you know, do what I can, not expecting a lot, and I just end up running away, because I'm a chicken. Whatever. But for now, I forced them away, and I have a level 3 TC, and you can see, I quickly, once I got level 3, it just like shot up to level 4, because I just killed Grunt and Wolves after Grunt and Wolves, and it worked out, as you can kind of tell. So, he uses 2 sets of 2 salves, and he's got 1 injured Grunt now, which he's going to just send home. He's going to creep that little green camp so that he can continue to pressure me, because, you know, he knows he's in pretty good shape. So, whatever, I'm going to send some peons off from my base because I have plenty of wood. I'm just going to build, you know, and I just have that 1 peon unqueued, and here we go. I've got 5 on gold. And I have both my bases. I've got another grunt back there that I didn't see because I'm retarded. That's, you know, in pretty good shape and just not doing anything. So, whatever, I'm going to move on. I'm going to start creeping this, you know, other camp. Now, I'm not really expecting him to come attack again. Of course he should. I should have expected him to attack again, but I just wasn't thinking of it. So I'm going to go in there and start creeping, and I'm like, creep, go, go, go. It's nightfall, you know, I should be fine. Then he's like, oh wait, guess what, you suck. I'm like, oh god, go away, I hate you. I'm like, dude, there's really not a lot I can do about this. Crap, well I got level 4, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, okay, I need to go save my base. Unfortunately, he's just going to kill this Great Hall, and I'm like, screw you. I try to repair as fast as I can, but he just kind of focuses my peons, and I'm going to lose them all. So I'm really not doing so well. So I'm like, you know what, he's going to kill them, I'm just going to keep mining gold until I'm done. You can see he focuses them and kills them, but, you know, I was doing my best. So whatever, I come in, he finishes off the building. I don't have any food. I'm like, oh, this sucks. I mean, I've pulled a total of, you know, 1,000 gold off the mine and spent just as much on peons in the expo. But here we go, you know. I've got my HH, you know, I've got my level 2 endurance, I've got Shockwave, and I've got a Kodo, which is very important. So you know what? I'm like, Shockwave, go. I managed to kill a grunt with it, which is like, sweet, I killed a grunt. And I've got, now I'm just like mass focusing. I've got everything ranged in group 2, everything melee in group 1, which is a grand total of a hero, and then 2 raids, or a raid, 2 grunts. So I've got group 2 focusing as best as I can. I got level 5, which is sweet. And I'm like, alright, you know what can I focus? I don't know. I don't really know what to focus, but whatever. I attack move group 2 up, and I'm gonna get rid of these Serpent Wards, because they're good EXP. They're only like 6 or something apiece, but hey, you know, I'll take it. The faster I get level 6, the faster I have reincarnation. Because ultimately, when they've got raids, which he's going to have, you want to make sure you have reincarnation in your TC. I mean, sure, it's hard to kill the thing, because it's got, you know, at level 5, it's got, you know, 4 armor, which is, okay, really bad, but it also has over 1,000 hit points. So, good luck killing that thing. I mean, you've got a bunch of HH hitting you, and, you know, Shockwave going on. But, I want to make sure I don't get owned, so I'm going to buy some more salves, buy a clarity, I'm going to salve up that last HH, and I'm rebuilding my expansion, because I really need it. I mean, I like expos. They're cool. They're pretty sweet overall. So, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, he's got this injured grunt, he sends over to the fountain. I'm like, okay, I'm in pretty good shape now. I've got my level 5 TC. He's going to get 3-3 here, which kind of is bad for me, but, you know, can't do so much about that. He gets level 3 hero, he gets a level 3 hero. What can you do? But, I see this grunt. I don't have Ensnare yet. I would use it if I did, you know. But I'm, like, retarded and forgot to research it. So I'm like, whatever, I'm going to go do this flank thing. Because I saw he was below 200 HP and I could shockwave him, so I sent my TC around the other way. And I'm like, oh sweet, like an army to kill. Okay, Shockwave. I kill a wolf and do a bunch of damage. He just exits me after it, so that's lucky. I try to get this grunt out of the way, but he's completely blocked off, so I'm like, whatever, screw it, I'm just going to attack with him. So I do that. And I'm going to Shockwave again pretty soon. I Shockwave off, I do a lot of damage to his Farseer, which is cool. I'm like, your Farseer's low, but I don't really see it in time. I just have to run away. So, he gets out of there, and I get, level 6 something, which is pretty sweet. And I'm like, okay, I got my expo started. And, I'm getting a snare now, I'm getting a bunch of HH. I'm chilling at the fountain, and I'm like, you know what? I know I don't need the EXP, but heck, I can creep and get like a Book of the Dead. So, let's do it. So I'm going to pull back some HH out of the way of those melee creeps, and then go after them. So, here we go. I've got a raid that's like taking like every single range creep, but he's like sort of dying, and that's kind of bad. But only so much I can do about it. I do have one attack upgrade in my HH, which is nice, and ultimately the key to the strategy is getting enough headhunters that they can't really do anything. Now, the strat I originally saw on ladder maybe once or twice, my opponents would go solo TC with Stomp, and that works pretty nicely because you have a bunch of headhunters, and you go HH Doc pretty much. But the problem with that is that you're really susceptible at tier 2 when you have like Adept, or you don't even have Adept Witch Doctors, which means you really don't do anything good. And I mean, Stomp is just kind of a bad spell. I mean, unless you have something else to complement it with. Stomp is nice, and Stomp as Ace Trap is really nice as well. I just don't like it so much. I mean, it works, but I just like Shockwave more because it has more damage potential. They have to be around your TC for Stomp to work, and yeah, level 3 Stomp has a huge radius, but I mean, it's not that hard to just, kind of run away, and besides, you can't pick stuff off with Stomp. Well, I mean, you can sort of, but not so much as you can with Shockwave. So I've got my Expo up now, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he's grouping to go attack again, because he's like, you know what? He's got an expansion, I need, and that he does need to keep attacking, because otherwise he's going to get just overrun by having less money. And so he brings in a group of, 5 grunts, 3 raids, 2 heroes. It's a pretty good group. I just now break into low upkeep, and I'm like, oh sweet, I see his army. Okay, so he ensnares. That's smart. He ensnares, various medium armor units. So I'm like, you know what? Kodo. And Shockwave. That was a pretty sweet Shockwave. That got his entire front line and it killed 2 raids. He's killing some of mine, but I mean, I'm in pretty good shape with my freaking 28 to 40 damage HH versus 21 to 24. I've got almost double his damage, and I've got average attack speed. Actually, I guess I went level 3 endurance because I was like, actually I have 1,000, 2,000 HP. I should be fine. So now I get reincarnation. I'm just like, you need to die, Farseer. I don't have the money or the mana for it, but he says, what a noob. He leaves. What can I say? I eventually then whispered him saying, if I'm a noob, you lost a solo TC and mass HH, what are you? But whatever. Only so much you can do about it. Anyway, mass HH is a cool strat. TC first is really cool. And ultimately it's just that Endurance Ore really is underrated. I mean, if you run out of mana, you still got Endurance. I mean, that let me save 2-3 grunts that I wouldn't have otherwise saved. And I think that actually made a big difference in the game itself. Shockwave eventually started meaning a lot because, I mean, it's less capped than Chain Lightning is. It does more damage than Chain Lightning. Chain's like 85, 125, 180. Shockwave's 65, 135. And then 200, so obviously it's quite a bit more powerful. It gets more targets and doesn't degrade per target either, so it's pretty sweet. Ultimately, this spell is really cool because, like, one of the nice things about the strat, ultimately, by going HH Kodo, is that they have to get raids. They have to get as many raids as you have Kodos. The thing is, raids suck versus Endurance or HH, and they suck versus Shockwave and versus Acid Bomb. I mean, they don't, sure they do, like, pretty good damage. They attack slower than Grunt, so the actual damage per second, non-cutting damage type, is almost equal to a Grunt damage. I'm serious, it's pretty equal. People say, oh, raids are good versus Fiends because, they both take less damage and, they have high damage. Like, dude, these things suck. I mean, they do damage per second of Grunts, and Grunts don't even do that much. They're just good tanks. So, putting in HH, using Shockwave, you just lower the tanking ability so that they're close to Footmen, and you just start devouring, and ultimately you've got HH versus raids to a certain point if you can devour all the Grunts and whatnot. And, again, just making sure you devour everything, and Endurance Aura just tips the balance so much. So that's like a win. It's cool. So, that will be the end of this audio. Orc Mirror for the win, or almost 40 minutes of audio. I hope you like it and everything. And this will be Phreak signing out. So bye.